Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gila Monster Rides. Little channel update on a little preview of what I'm going to be doing on my motorcycle vacation. I'm not riding anywhere. This isn't a motorcycle trip on a motorcycle per se, but actually I think this video is going to go out Monday. So essentially today, talking to you from the past, I am flying to Iowa to go to Baxter Cycle and spend a week there in Marne, Iowa, so that I can go to the Johnny Lewis Slide School. For me, that's going to be happening on Wednesday. I think I have the morning class, but I'm going to have to go back and look. Also, Baxter Cycle will be doing their annual open house and auction. That's very exciting. I'm going to stick a link to the auction website. It's in person and online. But go to the link that I'm going to have in the description. You'll see there's a lot of really cool bikes that are going to be auctioned up, and including a whole bunch of Nortons, old Royal Enfields, Triumphs, some really cool old vintage trials bikes. Some of them I'm like barely familiar with, like Osso, OSSO, I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. And let's see, on top of that, also that weekend, the Royal Enfield truck is coming with the demo bikes for this year. So I will be there for that. It's going to be a crazy weekend for just seeing all things cool. As far as I'm going to learn I'm going to learn the basics of flat track racing in Johnny Lewis's Slide School. I have been in contact with Johnny, and we're going to film all that for you guys. Now, I'm not going to do like a complete, filming of the class. That's how he makes his money. But you guys are going to get a good inside look of kind of what it looks like, and I highly encourage you to sign up for one of those schools, one of those classes. It travels around the country, so I will also put a link in this description to the slide school so that you can see. As of right now, I believe the Gorilla 450s are coming to the country imminently, very, very, very close to the Gorilla 450 being available in the country. However, what's super cool is I'm going to get to ride one in the slide school. They use what they call the FT 450, and it is a modified Gorilla 450, modified for flat track racing. So that's going to be super cool, super fun. You're going to get a look at those bikes, a little bit of the slide school. I'm going to be theoretically, I'm going to be trying to help out with the auction, so I don't know how much filming I'm going to get to be able to do there, but I'm going to, if I can have my GoPro or something in my pocket, or even just my phone, I will try to capture at least a little video there. I'm going to do some quick YouTube shorts updates throughout the week, sort of fuzzy biker style. And that's the other cool thing. I'm getting to meet the Baxter Cycle crew. I've talked with a lot of them on the phone or via messages back and forth, and I'm also getting to meet the fuzzy biker, and I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about getting to go ride a bunch of the Royal Enfield bikes that I haven't tried. Now recently I have sat on the Himalayan 450 and the Bear 650 at my local dealer, and with me being 110% of a pygmy in size, both of those were a little bit tall for me. I think with the Himalayan 450, like if I were to get one, I would. It from my understanding, it has two positions. Basically, it has its own um, lowering link native to the bike. It can be put in the lower position, and that there is also a like a low boy seat available for that bike. Um, I would have to do both of those things to probably be able to ride it comfortably. Um, with the stock seat in the higher position, it would definitely be a 1 foot only situation for me, and it felt it didn't feel as doable as the Himalayan 411 to me, for my body size, for my inside leg length, my inseam, and everything. I think maybe what I'll do if I ever get a Himalayan, maybe I'll get a 411 first, get accustomed to riding that, and then maybe step up to the Himalayan 450. The Bear was a very similar situation. And, in previous videos, I've told you guys that when I go sit on Interceptors in the store, with all the OEM pipes and everything, they feel very top heavy to me compared to something like a Triumph T100, which feels much better balanced for me. However, when I was at my local dealer and I sat on the Interceptor 650 that I bought, because it's gotten rid of those catalytic converters, it's got a super lightweight exhaust. It balances just fine. It feels like what I was feeling on those Triumph T100s or T120s. So that was a big reason why I bought that Interceptor, like showing me that, oh, they don't have to feel top heavy and too heavy. You can definitely make an Interceptor feel much better by getting rid of some of that weight off of the bike. However, um, with some of the stock seats being a little bit wider, and with the seat height, even like the OEM, like a dead nuts stock Interceptor feels a little tall to me. Um, it's not bad. It's definitely rideable, but my particular one came with the cafe. I think they call it the single touring seat, but it has the cafe hump at the back. That's very narrow at the front, so it really helped um, with me reaching the ground a little better. I can definitely get my 4 feet on the ground. By 4 feet, I mean like the front part of my foot on both feet. I can get on the ground. Um, I am trying to practice one footing all of my motorcycles more and get away from that habit of putting 2 feet down. And since I put you guys haven't seen it yet, but I bought the 1969 Interceptor Mark II styled seat that I've put on my Interceptor. That is a little bit taller and a little bit wider, but I'm not having any issues with that. So I think I have definitely gotten used to riding the Interceptor, being a little bit taller. But going to the Bear, man, I would definitely have to make some changes to the Bear and probably lower it a little bit, because if I was to take that off road and hit, like an off camber part of the trail or something, I could definitely see dropping that bike a lot. In fact, I have dropped at least one of my bikes. One of them sadly was on the road, but I was on a steep hill that was also off camber, and I don't know if I told you this story. There was some gravel at the intersection, and then there was a car that ended up running the four-way stop. I had to stop very quickly on this really weird road with gravel on it, and where I'd initially stopped was good, but when I had to come, I went maybe 5 feet and I had to come to a complete halt. The bike was weighted in the direction of where there was a new little patch of gravel. My boot hit that gravel, and my leg went completely out from underneath me, and I dropped the bike. I was mad. I was embarrassed. I dinged up my knee pretty good. I wasn't really injured, but I dinged up my knee and put some minor scratches on the bike. Not really a big deal, but that was one of the reasons I ended up lowering the sprung seat on my classic 350 because I dropped Francine. Very embarrassing. But I don't know, like looking back on it, in the split second that I had to stop, I don't know what I could have done different. In any case, with the bear's height and being, going off some off road, doing some scrambling, I think I would have to lower that bike and maybe look at possibly a different seat or something like that, just to allow me a better way to get purchase on the ground from either direction. But I need practice off road, and that's why I'm going to Johnny Lewis's Slide School. I think that the FT 450 will be a little bit taller. Looking forward to learning how to ride that bike. I think it's going to really enhance my not only my general off-road skills, which are near nil, and my road skills. So stay tuned for all of that coming up. I will probably not release any full-length episodes till after I get back. I'm going to try to get them mostly edited, at night while I'm out there. But I don't know, like, what my internet situation is going to be, what my time situation is going to be while I'm out there. So I'm basically planning on the full length videos for that entire trip to be released in like some sort of order after I get back. But I will be posting some YouTube shorts directly from the events that I'm going to there. I hope you really enjoy seeing those and come back for more. I appreciate all of you guys, and let me know if there's any part of what I talked about, like what are you most looking forward to seeing from my trip. I will try to concentrate on, if you guys particularly want some aspect of any of those events that I talked about, the flat track school, the auction, or the test ride event from Royal Enfield. Let me know what you're most interested in seeing. If you're interested in me trying a particular Royal Enfield in the test ride, let me know in your comments below. Please give this video a like. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Lots of content coming up with my Interceptor 650. We're doing some mods to that. We're going to be rebuilding the top end of Francine, which may be just putting the 350 cylinder and piston back on the bike until I can have time to have the deal with the 410 cylinder if it's salvageable. I think it is. We'll see. Also, you guys have never seen any Honda Grom action on this channel. Hopefully when it starts cooling down here in Arizona, I'm gonna have more time. I need to get into my transmission and do a repair to the transmission on the Honda Grom. Every manufacturer calls it something different, but there's a star inside the bike that is essentially your gear selector, and I believe that has been damaged. Now it might be the springs aspect of part of that. I actually know somebody who's having to deal with that on his Interceptor 650. But I need to get in because it essentially doesn't want to go into or come out of first gear without a whole lot of bad noises happening. I can ride it in like second through fifth, no problem. But I want to get that bike up and running. My wife wants to learn to ride that bike, and when it's much cooler in Arizona, she's looking at the possibility of going to her motorcycle safety course here in Arizona, getting her motorcycle license. So that's very exciting. We maybe we'll bring that to the channel. You've never met my wife, but maybe we can, if she decides that in fact that's what she wants to do, we might include that in the channel. And then finally, I don't know how much, I think I've talked about this a little bit. I have a boneyard of bikes. It's embarrassing. I need to replace and rewire the stator on my Indian Scout. That's kind of a more extensive repair. I do have a used but in good condition stator to put in. I have the gasket, but I'm gonna have to do some rewiring because they cut it before they sent it to me. I knew that, but we're probably gonna have to rewire those. I also believe I'm gonna end up having to buy a new regulator rectifier for the bike. So we will get that installed, rewired, really hopefully this fall / this winter. My work is changing a little bit. It still takes, my job takes a lot out of me because it's longer hours, and I generally walk like anywhere from 6 to 8 miles a day at work. But my schedule changed up a little bit. I'm going to have an additional day off from work, kind of going forward, which will allow me to, sometimes get some 3 days, sometimes some 4-day weekends. I'm going to have a little bit more time to work on the bike, but man, I need these Arizona temperatures to come down. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you from Marne, Iowa, and Baxter's this week.